Hello, everyone. I think I have pneumonia. I think I might... That's a great start, isn't it? Welcome, everyone, to the infirmary. Today, well, the real question is, how do we offset my sickness in these trying times? The obvious answer to that is to watch the worst crash tests of all time. I am quite ill. That's probably... Actually, no, it's not probably. It's the reason why I'm not doing an F1 My Team or Last the First video or any other video that involves me speaking strenuously. And I thought a gameplay video was too repetitive, so we're going to have a reaction video instead. Because they aren't oversaturated at all. The worst crash tests of all time. Let's begin. Here we go, then. Right. First of all, lad, use your eyes. Get your spirit level out. What is that? Pretty clapped intro screen. Anyway, we can't... Let's gloss over this man's text aligning abilities. And let's get straight back onto things. Right then, here we go. Oh, they've brought out the piano banger for this one. This won't get repetitive at all, I'm sure. Okay, Alfa Romeo 156 to start off with. Wonder what rating this got. Ah, 1 star. Of course it did. Let's see what happened here then. Into the barrier. Bonnet gets crumpled. And, oh my god. Okay, we're not off to a great start. Also, this means it's going to get repetitive, so piss off. I'm going to go back and watch that again for gratuitous purposes. Alfa Romeo 156. My own music will be underlaid now, and probably extremely inappropriate. 1 star, we already saw that. This was in 2000, bearing in mind. And they said, you know what? Yes, this car. This. Sell that. People won't be scared of our car. Ford Sierra 1991. If that was 2000, I'm a bit concerned. But anyway, into the shot we... Sorry, that's outrageous. That is actually outrageous. Bro, the car didn't even try. Oh my god, it beheaded him. Right, so at this point, I want to say... The only people that owned a Ford Sierra in 1991 better have had a chin like Muhammad Ali, because otherwise there's no point in buying one, clearly. Mate, they always say when cars crinkle up like crisp packets, this was the frickin' icing on the cake. Jesus, Lord above. Oh, you know what? After watching that back, it's actually, you know what? It's actually quite sickening. I genuinely would not be all that surprised if someone died while driving this car in a crash. Flipping. Alright, let's blazon that image out of our heads and look at the Pontiac Transport. An American car, and it's called the Transport. What could go wrong? Oh, of course, it severed itself in the middle. I don't get how manufacturers thought that this was okay. They were willing to sell cars that they knew, unless they had to redo them after the crash test. I don't know how it worked, but safety wasn't a priority for humanity back then. 2008, Isuzu D-Max, most notably known for lorries and trucks. This one failed miserably, though, as you can see. The guy's got a face full of airbag. Isuzu have egg on their faces. And the Euro NCAP, or any children that are in the back, now have chronic whiplash and a few broken ribs. The Geely CK1. This is a Chinese car company, the Geely. I'm pretty confident. 2010. So, if this is 2010, we have to have higher standard. Oh, no. Oh, no. Mate, no. Man's got a frickin' cranium injury from the windscreen, man. Nah, this is not okay. I don't like what I'm seeing. No airbag, bearing in mind, in red letters, just to make you quite apparent and aware to the fact that this is a complete shambles. Latin NCAP, because if they tried to take it to Euro NCAP, they would actually slap them in the face. Citroen Saxo 1997, plucky little hatchback, the Citroen Saxo, and you would hope in a crash test, it would be absolutely fine because it is a small car. It would need that support. Oh, dear, no, it isn't. The car has actually folded in on itself again. I feel like this is going to be a running theme here. Mate, you almost fell out the door. What are you doing, man? Hyundai i10, not Hyundai. I'll just make it quite clear. They pronounced their name wrong in the adverts for at least 20 years. So why are they trying to backtrack now? Explain that one to me. Parents, have you ever thought of giving a child their first car? Have you thought of it being the Hyundai i10? If so, look away right now, because this will give you every single indicator not to do that. As man's head is absolutely clobbered against the steering wheel, he now has concussion, at least, if not a severe bout of death. 2014. Bro, there's cars in here that are as late as 2014. That's ridiculous. Volkswagen Polo, this is. Again, a car that's pretty up. That's by far the least offensive one we had so far. Granted, the front end does look like it's been casseroled. Again, another 2014 car. The Ford Fig. Nope. That's a bit of a weird name. Anyway, Ford Figo. I swear that's not a UK-based thing. Again, I mean, it's not the worst car on this list by any stretch of the imagination. However, if we do go back and watch this again, you will see that he has, in fact, got another bout of concussion on the steering wheel. This is really, well, it's quite harrowing, to be honest with you. I'm not even going to joke around here. Vauxhall Sintra. Oh, good lord. Man United are playing Galatasaray in the Champions League just as I look at that, and that's about as well as it's going to go. Oh, dear. Oh, no. A Daewoo Lanos. I think mine is Daewoo. Into the wall goes the Daewoo Lanos. It's got a million nuclear symbols on the side of it. And that's because it's been radioactively crushed. Jesus wept. The A-pillar is absolutely ruined on most of these cars, especially the early 2000s and mid to late 90s ones. The Ford Sierra, there was no car left, and I won't even talk about that. Another Daewoo, this time the Nubera. A very, very similar car to the last one then, so I think it must have different results considering it's a year old. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. How stupid was I for thinking that in the worst crash tests of all time, that was going to end any differently. Fiat 600, 2000, let's see what it's cooking with. The answer is probably shards of aluminium. That's a small car. Oh, that is death. That is no other word for it. That is death, quite frankly. Bearing in mind as well, if you're looking at the time at the bottom, I couldn't circle it, but if you watch that timer there, that's real time in terms of what's actually happening. So as soon as they crash, that's after 1 second. In 1 second, the car is like that. The car has been sent into a different continent. The driver has been sent... Well, I think there's no other way of sugarcoating this to an early grave, because that is ridiculous. Mercedes C-Class A, 1997. What is the C-Class cooking with? Again, probably something quite bad. As we head into the crash test, it hits the wall, and again, the A-pillar is absolutely bent to a pulp. And the boot is opened as well. So, if you happen to be a criminal following a Mercedes C-Class that has just crashed, you have a very easy avenue to some goods. Renault Clio, 97. I was getting nervous with 1990s cars now. We saw the Ford Sierra, and I think that was all the evidence I needed to tell me it was all going to be an absolute shambles. Ay. Yeah. I don't think the music underneath is doing any justice, really, to just how bad these are. The driver then went back and hit the driver's door. Not ideal. Rover 100. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here we go. Into the wall. Oh, my God almighty. Yeah. That's predictable, really, wasn't it? Suzuki Baleno in 1998. Another saloon-ish car. And another one that has crimped. Actually, well, I mean, the driver has got concussion and his child in the back is now a Martian. But in terms of the other 90s cars that have had their windscreen completely refigured, that wasn't the worst one. Oh, God, not another Ford Sierra. No, please. Actually spare me any more pain and misery watching this car. Because the 91... Oh, my God, are you serious, man? Right, 4 years later, they hadn't learned anything. They genuinely hadn't learned anything. What is that? I've seen whales that look more like cars than the end of that product. That's ridiculous. The Renault Twingo in 1990... Well, we know what happened the last time we saw a 91 car. And this one has absolutely no structure between the front and the driver. So this can only go well. The steering wheel is now in the windscreen. The driver is under the steering wheel. I don't know why I'm saying that. You can all see it for yourselves, but all you really need to know, it has been folderized. Cinquecento, Fiat 500, 1991. Let me guess how this is going to go. There's not much room between the driver, but, you know, this is probably one of the most structurally integral cars of its time. Really, you know, going to protect the driver. Oh, no, it isn't. The driver has to have Mike Tyson's chin. Otherwise, he will have no chin left. I've said this a million times already. I cannot believe a Vauxhall Frontera. I cannot believe that manufacturers thought that this was okay. Like, genuinely, I cannot understand how on earth they thought that this was acceptable at the time. At least this one has an airbag. Well, I think we need to watch that gratuitously once again, don't we? Into the wall again, and you think it's going okay. The airbag comes out. It all seems to go well. Then the dashboard becomes part of the man driving. Or woman. We don't discriminate. Nissan Sentra Tsuro B13. Did they have to, like, update the cars after the crash test? Or were they just allowed to sell them like this anyway? Like I said, safety was mainly an afterthought. Oh my Christ, on a bicycle. Why? Again, the Latin NCAP people have to be past that 1985. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, the driver is now part of the engine block. And he's found himself out of the engine block, but he's swallowed a piston. The important lesson there, don't crash into a lamppost or pole, just at all, at speed. Santana from 1986. These are by far the worst ones, aren't they? This is what you're going to tell me. Into a wall. There's no person actually... Bro. Oh my... It's still going. Bro. Oh my god. Bro doesn't... It didn't... Bro, there's half the car... No. We can't just go on from there. No, there was no car left by the end of that. What the hell was that? Front goes in. Bro, it disintegrates. The car literally dissolves on impact. Well, I mean, actually, if you think about it, Formula 1 does this with carbon fibre now, which really is actually quite innovative at the time, so Volkswagen were ahead of the curve. So, subscribe for more info. Realistically, though, we can't actually downplay just how bad that is. Like, oh my god. Bro, if you're a driver and you're driving one of these and you're heading towards a wall, get in the back. And even then, you'd be lucky to be alive. That's how bad that car's safety is. And that was, bearing in mind, that was 1 year after that Passat Variante, where the driver became part of the engine block. This time, the driver became part of particulates in the air. Genuinely beggars belief on how on earth they managed to sell that. Anyway, blazing that image out of my head, the Volkswagen Golf from 1993, and again, I'm not optimistic. Into the airbag, and for once, it is not nearly as cataclysmic. You're mocking me. You're having a laugh. You're actually having a laugh. You're telling me that this is going to be safe. Oh, it's the Beetle! James May would love it seeing smashed to pieces. Jesus wept. Bearing in mind, that's 1966 that car was made. Don't have a crash in the 60s. And still, that car was safer than the 1986 Volkswagen we saw a moment ago. I've lost my actual construct in my primary language from watching this. These are genuinely quite horrible, and I'm not just saying that. I know I've made light where I can. Oh, for God's, look at that! Bro, the chassis freaking snaps. The driver's spine's probably also snapped. Proton Jumbuck, with a name like that, it deserves to dissolve. And it probably will anyway. So I hope absolutely no one bought this, again with the nuclear symbols around the sides, and once again... Oh my god, why do I bother, honestly? ANCAP, again, not a Eurocap test, because if Eurocap were presented with this car, they would laugh and slap the face of Proton. Clio Mio, my Clio. Better be a good Clio then. I believe in you. 2011. Don't do me Sorry. I just had a flashback of my Clio. Moving on, sorry. Don't you mean... Good news! It's the Dacia Sandero. Into the wall it goes. Oh, dear. Well, James May, I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but you can't crash your Dacia Sandero into the wall. Head absolutely finds itself in a new realm after that crash. Suzuki Alto, specifically the Brazilian edition. The normal edition doesn't apply. 2012 this car was. It looks very old for a 2012, but anyway, we gloss over that. The roof has caved in, the driver's skull has caved in, the steering wheel and the engine block have caved in, and my sanity has caved in. Good lord. The Tata Nano. Is that last part of its name a representation of how it's going to end up after this crash? To be honest, not far off. And again, no airbag in red lettering. Just to provide that awareness, you know. They don't mess around here at Global NCAP. Chevrolet Aveo, 2006. Still see quite a lot of these milling around, mainly driven by No offense, elderly women. They're into the wall. Oh, that's not the Chevrolet. Oh, it's a Spark, I know, not the Aveo. But even so, I'm glad they're not driving that because the old woman wouldn't have made it to their age. Oh, no, you can't do that. You just seen what I've seen. Look at that. The airbag has a smiley face on it. So moments before your death. Moments before your death, you can have a nice smiley airbag. It's so wholesome, the Chevrolet Aveo. Apart from the bit where your neck becomes nitrogen particles. The airbag is smiling, but it is certainly not reaping the benefits of the crash after that. Let me tell you, it's probably a sulky boy after that incident. Into the barrier and disheveled. Volkswagen T3, no year set for this one. We have no idea. It could be an alien. Oh no. Oh no. There was a reason they didn't want you to find the year of this. Bro, Volkswagen have had the run of the worst ones. Ford's had one. Volkswagen has had multiple. Oh, Christicle on a bicycle. Good Krishna Almighty. Why did they think that was okay? Brilliance, BS, that's just a recipe for absolute disaster. Into the wall, and predictably, all poo has hit the fan. Tits have gone up. Children are dead. Commodore. I think this is the Holden Commodore, not just the Commodore, but anyway. Into the wall goes the Commodore. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have found a new worst crash of this entire video. So here we are again, into the wall, and flipping hell. Yeah. I've got nothing to add to that. At least with the Volkswagen, you would dissolve as you hit the wall, so it was going to be less painful. This one, you'll be turned into a veneer when you've hit the wall. Mitsubishi Express, and I'm going to express my disgust. This was 2007, this car. As the driver sinks down briefly, and it's not nearly as bad as the Holden we saw moments ago. I believe that's the last crash of the video. Looks like it is, and it is indeed. Well, there you go. I'm slightly traumatized after that now, and I think I'm going to have another lie down and nap. I just woke up from a half-hour nap to record this. I'm going to probably have another 3 hours before I edit this and upload it. That was quite horrible, to be honest with you. And I think there's an important lesson to take from watching that particular video that we could all take with us in our daily lives today. And that is, don't crash. Subscribe for more. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it somewhat. I know it's probably just as gruesome as I would have experienced it, to be honest with you. But anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm pretty sure we're all grateful that cars are now blissfully much safer than they were back in all those years ago. Also, just wanted to check with you on the Euro NCAP thing as to what speed they do. They do 30 miles an hour, just over 30 miles an hour. It's a 50 km/h crash into the wall. So that's what all these cars had to do, at 30 miles an hour. So it's not like there were disparities in the speed or anything, perhaps in how quickly they were played. But in terms of the actual speed approaching the wall, they were all doing exactly the same. So that kind of exasperates the issue even more, really, doesn't it? Anyways, like and subscribe if you enjoyed that reaction video. I'm scarred, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna go cry now. Original video will be down in the description below. Go and watch it. Give the original creator support, even though he says, as he claims, well, in fact states, all of these videos aren't his anyway. But give it a watch anyway, just so you can experience it in all of its glory like I did. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. And until next time, I'll see you soon.